This is a very short wrap-up film to cover a few items that were left off at the end of the last one. And particularly with this wall here, which hadn't been completely fully developed. And when we started, I think we can agree that I didn't like this anyhow, particularly because this is the TV centered in that living space between the front of this hearth and that door. And so you have to shift it to make it look decent. You have to shift that TV quite a bit east so that it doesn't have this weird juxtaposition here. And so I did a few things to try to improve that by running a board along that wall, trim along that wall. None of these photos were taken from this angle either. This is that bump that comes into the room. This was with the no columns, with that beam all the way in the ceiling, the single column. And then this was me trying to do something to make that television wall look a little better. And this was what I came up with, is something like this. Actually, I had that taller, but I made it shorter, same size as the other beams. And then the last thing was getting rid of that wall, pushing it all the way back where it's flush like this, and bringing this band all the way around the room. In the event we continue to like this or explore this, then the question comes, do we run this similar trim along this wall, and maybe there are smaller beams coming down the ceiling. But this was the best I could do with that wall, with these real and false beams. And then this is just pushing that all the way back where this wall just goes straight across. And in this iteration here, those doorways become about 3 or 4 inches taller than they were when they're just down. And looking at this with no trim at all during the making of this film, in the event this was something that was more preferred, I wanted to try to improve this same awkward juxtaposition. And this was all I really came up with, something like this, where that same crown that's run around the dining room is run around the kitchen. Whether this is built out to provide a little stop and vertical drop for it would have to be decided. But I did want to show that. I thought of that during the making of this film, and returned and developed this couple photos from that approach. And same situation from this angle. I did another little variation back here, got rid of the cabinet. We got enough of those, and put in a little awning window. And then this was 2 beams, and then this was finishing that out. Where you can really see it happen is here in the corner, where this wall goes back, and then that trim continues around like that. And this is that final variation that came back to add in. In the event this is done, the crown that's on the face of this last beam here would continue around that fireplace like that, and there would still be 3 or 4 feet between it and the next beam. But that's it on that. So I think that's about it. Following this will be a couple of the same old walkthroughs, but with these various new alterations. But I won't be commenting on those, and that'll be that for now. And hopefully this concludes DRM3. Thanks very much.